Book 6, Book of Morals and Precepts, Chapter 4, Life. I found this chapter very instructive. MPR 415. Whatever your estate and however lowly the circumstances to which you have fallen, you still have the power for good in your right hand and the power for evil in your left hand. MPR 416. Would the fish rise to the bait if it knew the hook were hidden therein? Or would the lion step on the pit if it saw the stake below? No, neither would man wish to live, or the soul to perish with the body. Neither would a just God have created him, and the true God, if he be anything, is just. I'm always trying to understand the origin of right and left being used in politics. Left is often seen as hope and striving boldly to the future. They're often seen as more emotional and reactive, while the right counsels restraint and tempers the left's idealism with the knowledge of the past mistakes, what we would call wisdom, but they're also usually seen as cold and aloof. The two in balance, society benefits, but both are opposing forces, and over time one will gain ascendancy and arrogance is the result. An effort to smash the other side, portraying them as evil. It is frustrating to struggle. The left's creativity is stunted, forced to slow down because the right will have to be convinced of the value of change. The left will have to address enough of those concerns to get enough people to agree with them. The right is doomed to lose because the goal of God for the soul is growth and change. It is the left's struggle to embrace the future that pushes the goals of God for the soul. Let one side gain ascendancy, sorrow follows, and humility has its day in the next generation. Society starts its journey back to balance, but then the seeds planted by the last extremist episode will find root in the other side. Give it a few decades for the generation that sprouts from the generation that suffered to reach age of adulthood. You will begin to see the slide. Eventually, time wipes out the old that still has knowledge of the pain and warns against past mistakes, leaving the generation that we only wanted to have the best happen to keep them from suffering what they had to, will take over, and lacking knowledge of what the mistakes were, their free will starts to become arrogant and will not think about how the past mistakes might affect them in the same way. That fear will just not be as prevalent. Their effort to protect their generation from making mistakes will see another crop of humility to be less robust, until there is few left that have humility.